Prime Minister Modi chairs a high-level meeting over the way forward for cryptocurrencies in India. Prime Minister's crucial meeting is ahead of the winter session of the Parliament, coming after RBI, Finance Ministry and Home Ministry's deliberations to consult global experts on this issue. During the meeting, attempts to mislead the youth through over-promising and non-transparent advertising and the best practices to be followed were discussed. The concerns over the possibility of unregulated crypto markets turning into avenues for money laundering and terror financing were also raised. The government is likely to bring a comprehensive bill on cryptocurrencies in the coming winter session of the Parliament. The Standing Committee on Finance is scheduled to hold discussions on crypto assets in its next meeting on 15th November. Cryptocurrencies are extremely volatile and the market thrives on speculation. It is for this reason that the world and its economies are still wary about the digital money. El Salvador is the only country that has approved Bitcoin as currency. Nations like the United States, Germany, UK, Australia have also taken a crypto stand, but there are those like China who have put a blanket ban on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Here is how cryptos are going around the world.
Bitcoin and Ethereum, the largest and second largest cryptocurrencies in the world, surging to new highs, rising as far as $67,700 and $4,800 respectively. Both have more than doubled since June and added nearly 70% against the dollar since the start of October. The little more than decade-old market for digital assets has already roughly quadrupled from its 2020 year-end value and now stands at $3 trillion in market capital. As cryptocurrency becomes a more significant factor in the global investment landscape, countries have taken different approaches to regulating the asset class. El Salvador is the only country in the world to allow Bitcoin as legal tender. In June this year, the country's Congress formally adopted Bitcoin as a form of payment. The United States has also taken a generally positive stance towards Bitcoin. Prominent businesses like Dish Network, Microsoft, Subway and Overstock welcome payments in Bitcoin. The digital currency has also made its way to the US derivatives market, adding to its legitimacy. Canada too maintains a generally Bitcoin-friendly stand. Bitcoin transactions are viewed as barter and the income generated is treated as business income. But some major Canadian banks have banned the use of their credit and debit cards for Bitcoin transactions. Similar to Canada, Australia considers Bitcoin neither money nor a foreign currency, with the Australian Taxation Office ruling it as an asset for capital gains tax purposes. United Kingdom has a pro-Bitcoin stance and wants the regulatory environment to be supportive of the digital currency. Bitcoin is under certain tax regulations in the UK. Germany is open to Bitcoin, where it is considered legal but taxed differently depending upon whether the authorities are dealing with exchanges, miners, enterprises or users. Bitcoin, however, is banned in China. All banks and financial institutions are prohibited from dealing in Bitcoin. The Chinese government has cracked down on miners and cryptocurrency exchanges are also banned. In Russia too, the use of Bitcoin as payment for goods and services is illegal. Bolivia, Colombia and Ecuador have also banned the use of Bitcoin. India is considering a middle path on cryptocurrencies. What will it be? We'll have to wait and watch. Bureau Report, India Today.
The Bitcoin saga has been playing out in Karnataka, where a massive political storm has erupted over a cyber criminal and his alleged Bitcoin transactions. Here is all that you need to know about it.
Drugs, cryptocurrency and politics. A seasoned cyber criminal who has raked up a political storm. Political face-off now playing out. Congress has now hit out at Chief Minister Bommai for inaction in the Bitcoin scam. Congress alleged that instead of probing the matter, the Karnataka government is busy in cover-up.
कर्नाटक की भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार इस अंतरराष्ट्रीय तथा कथित बिटकॉइन घोटाले की जांच करने की बजाय उस पर पर्दा डालने का प्रयास कर रही है। जब यह तथाकथित हैकर, when he was arrested, Mr. Bommai was Home Minister. When he was released, Mr. Bommai was Home Minister.
Congress spokesperson Randeep Surjewala also claimed that the Karnataka government did not inform the Enforcement Directorate, NIA and Interpol.
ये सारी षड्यंत्रकारी कोशिशें सत्ताधारियों के द्वारा की जा रही हैं। यहां तक कि इंटरपोल तक को सूचित नहीं किया गया, एनआईए, ईडी और एसएफआईओ को भी सूचित नहीं किया गया।
Congress is also questioned why Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah are silent on the issue and hit out at the Enforcement Directorate, calling it the election department of BJP. It has also demanded a Supreme Court monitored probe. After Congress levelled grave allegations, Karnataka police issued a statement clarifying that no Bitcoin was transferred or lost. The police further added that the probe was conducted in a fair manner following due procedure and that all the documents have been submitted in court. Karnataka BJP too refuted all charges and said that distorted facts were being blown out of proportion.
This government, under the able leadership of Bommaiji, has nothing to hide in this Shrikar episode. The investigation team has shared all the information to Interpol, ED and CBI. We are the ones who ordered the investigation. We are the ones who will bring the culprits to the table.
Karnataka Chief Minister Bommai hit back at the Congress, calling their allegations baseless.
See, there are a lot of people said 2,600, 3,000, 8,000. What are the basis? There are no basis for this. Therefore, my only humble request is, our government is open. We need not protect anybody. And none of our people are involved. Therefore, whatever information, whatever little information they have, they might hand over to the investigating agencies. And these agencies are not controlled by state government. So they can hand over those information and let it be probed and let the truth come out.
The Chief Minister said that even Prime Minister asked him not to worry about the Bitcoin scam allegations.
ನಾನೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ನೀವು ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯಿಂದ ದಿಟ್ಟತನದಿಂದ ಜನರ ಪರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ.
Not to be left behind, former Karnataka Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy has also waded into the controversy and alleged that Bitcoin scam mastermind Sri Krishna also hacked into Jandhan accounts.
ಜನ್ಧನ್ ಖಾತೆಗಳ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಖಾತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ 2 ರೂಪಾಯಿನಾಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸತ್ಯಾಸತ್ಯ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಬಂದಂಥ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ.
The mastermind in the Bitcoin scam, Sri Krishna, has confessed, but BJP and Congress remain at loggerheads over the multi-crore fraud and political mudslinging is far from over. Bureau Report, India Today.
Section 144 was imposed in Amravati in the backdrop of back-to-back stone pelting incidents in the city. Internet services have been suspended in the city for 3 days following the violent protests. On Saturday, a mob hurled stones and damaged shops at various places in Amravati city during a Bandh allegedly organized by the BJP. The Bandh was called against Friday's stone pelting incidents in Amravati during rallies held in protest of alleged communal violence in Tripura. Launching a veiled attack at BJP, Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut said that the violence in Amravati is a ploy to destabilize the Aghadi government. BJP leader Fadnavis said that it was wrong to organize rallies in the state for an incident that never occurred in Tripura and appealed to people to exercise restraint. He also said that political parties should refrain from making inflammatory statements.
भाजपने तो
Madhya Pradesh's Habibganj railway station will now be known as Rani Kamlapati railway station. On Saturday, MP Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan announced that the newly renovated railway station will be named after the tribal queen. Prime Minister is going to be inaugurating the revamped railway station, which is a future modern airport-like amenities on the occasion of Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. The Gond community comprises the largest tribal group of India with more than 1.2 crore population. Rani Kamalapati was the widow of Gond ruler Nizam Shah, a legendary figure amongst the tribal population of Madhya Pradesh. Interestingly, while the station has been renamed to honor the memory of Gond Queen, according to the Chief Minister, Kinorgar Fort, the stronghold of the Gonds, which was about 61 kilometers from Bhopal, has fallen into reunation. The renaming of Habibganj railway station comes amidst the renaming of several other railway stations. In 2021 alone, 2 railway stations have been named in UP. And you've got more that you're counting as this one.
मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को धन्यवाद देता हूं कि उन्होंने ये नाम बदलने को स्वीकृति दी और आज सब हर्षित हैं, प्रसन्न हैं। केवल भारतीय जनता पार्टी नहीं, वस्तुतः जो आनंद मैं देख रहा हूं पूरे प्रदेश में है, समाज के सब वर्गों में है।
मध्य प्रदेश की राजधानी भोपाल में देश का पहला ऐसा वर्ल्ड क्लास रेलवे स्टेशन बनकर तैयार है जो कि सुविधाओं के मामले में पूरी तरीके से किसी एयरपोर्ट से कम नहीं होगा। भोपाल का हबीबगंज रेलवे स्टेशन, जिसका 15 नवंबर को प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी उद्घाटन करने जा रहे हैं, कि ये जो एयर कॉन्कोर्स आप देख रहे हैं, आमतौर पर इस तरह की तस्वीर आपने एयरपोर्ट पर देखी होगी, जहां पे फ्लाइट्स का इंतजार करने के लिए जो पैसेंजर्स होते हैं, जो यात्री होते हैं, वो एयर कॉन्कोर्स के नीचे बैठते हैं और वहां पे लाइन से कतारबद्ध कुर्सियां जो होती हैं वो लगी रहती हैं। आमतौर पर रेलवे स्टेशनों पे अगर आप देखें तो जगह बेहद कम होती है। एक प्लेटफॉर्म से दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म अगर जाना होता है तो जो फुट ओवर ब्रिज होता है उस पे इतनी कम जगह होती है कि लोग टकराते हुए निकलते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पर वो स्थिति नहीं है। चौड़ी जगह दी गई है फुट ओवर ब्रिज के साथ में, ताकि लोग एक दूसरे से टकराए नहीं, आवागमन के लिए ज्यादा जगह उन्हें मिल पाए। ये प्लेटफॉर्म थोड़े अलग दिखेंगे क्योंकि इन प्लेटफॉर्म्स के ऊपर सोलर पैनल लगाए गए हैं। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के दौरे को लेकर के सुरक्षा की भी चाक चौबंद व्यवस्थाएं जो हैं वो की जा रही है। देश का ये वर्ल्ड क्लास रेलवे स्टेशन जो एयरपोर्ट के जैसी ही सुविधाओं से लैस होगा, वो देश को समर्पित करेंगे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी। कैमरामैन इरशाद खान के साथ रवीशपाल सिंह, भोपाल।
Kangana Ranaut maintains a defiant stance over her controversial remark on independence. The 4-time National Award-winning actor shared Instagram screenshots sharing passages of books quoting freedom fighters and asked which war for independence took place in 1947. It's bizarre as it sounds. The Bollywood actor even declared that she would not only apologize but also return her Padma Shri if anybody could answer this question. Kangana also dragged in Mahatma Gandhi into this controversy, claiming that the father of the nation let Bhagat Singh die and did not support Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Remember, she had earlier claimed that the freedom India got on 15th August 1947 was a bheek or alms, and real independence was achieved in 2014 when Prime Minister Narendra Modi came into power, according to Kangana Ranaut. The opposition has come out all guns blazing against the actor. Forget about the opposition. Many on social media have lashed out at her for this statement. NSUI, a student wing of Congress, called Sadbuddhi Yagya for the actress who insulted the country's freedom fighters. DCW Chief Swati Maliwal lashed out at the Bollywood actor for bringing into disrepute to India's freedom fighters. When the tournament began, who would have thought that New Zealand and Australia will face each other in the final of T20 World Cup? Ranked 4th and 6th respectively, the Black Caps and Aussies have exceeded all expectations to reach the grand finale. Here's what you can expect from the two teams who will battle one another for the ultimate glory in Dubai.
New Zealand versus Australia. The Trans-Tasman clash will decide the new T20 champions of the world.
Full toss won't be a no ball. Will it go for 4? It does.
The Aussies and the Black Caps will renew their rivalry in the summit clash after both teams registered near identical wins in their semi-final matches. Considering how both teams went on to win their respective encounters, despite being the underdogs, there's very little to choose between the two sides.
Into the final of the ICC Men's World T20. Short, hit leg side.
While Daryl Mitchell and Jimmy Neesham's heroics propelled the Kiwis into the final,
For 6, I think. Yep, all the way. Hits it down the ground flat.
it was Matthew Wade and Marcus Stoinis' late assault that took the Aussies over the line against Pakistan.
Might go for 4, does go for 4. Hassan Ali under pressure. Sounded good. It's good. Brilliant.
The final overs in both the games were nerve-wracking. The late onslaught from both the teams produced more drama than one could have imagined.
Wood. Oh, he's just got pumped.
And cricket fans all over the world will be hoping the two countries can produce yet another spectacle in the grand finale. The Kiwis, though, will be without the services of their wicketkeeper batsman Devin Conway, who suffered a freak injury in the semis.
So well placed.
Conway, who made a fluent 38 ball 46 in the semis, broke his right hand after punching his bat out of frustration following his dismissal in the game against England. Tim Seifert, the other wicketkeeper batsman in the squad, is expected to replace him in the playing 11. In head-to-head encounters, New Zealand have only won 4 out of 14 T20 international games, while Australia have won 9 of those matches till date. However, the Black Caps possess a far superior record when it comes to the shortest format this year. In comparison, Aaron Finch's men have lost more games than they've won this year.
In the final, Australia just too strong.
The final clash between the two sides will be a rematch of the 2015 ODI World Cup final, a game that Australia won by 7 wickets.
Australia.
The Aussies are the most successful 50-over side, but they have never won the T20 World Cup. They'll be hoping they can add to their trophy cabinet on Sunday. New Zealand, though, have time and again showed why they are one of the best teams in the world.
He's got it! England have won the World Cup by the barest of...
From losing the 2019 World Cup final by the barest of margins,
Absolute ecstasy for England! Agony! Agony for New Zealand! Whips that one away, and how appropriate.
to winning the inaugural World Test Championship, Kane Williamson's men have been phenomenal in the past few years.
Daryl Mitchell does it for New Zealand.
A first ever World Cup win would be the perfect end for a team that always seemed to punch above their weight. A cracking encounter awaits us all. Sports Bureau, India Today.
It's a wrap from me, Chaitanya Narula, on this bulletin. Keep watching India Today and don't forget to log on to indiatoday.in or download our app.